Hey everyone, Alex here, and welcome back to another World Conqueror 2 video. And in this episode of Tips and Tricks to Winning World Conqueror 2, I will be going through the nuclear bomb. So let's get the basics of the way. The nuclear bomb is a really powerful weapon, and it is arguably the most effective weapon on the field. And yeah, so it costs $450 and 260 wrenches, which means it is the most expensive uh, it's the most expensive, I guess, unit in the game. Not exactly a unit, but it's the most it's besides the aircraft carrier. Of course, it is definitely the most expensive thing that you can in fact use on your enemies in the game. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but I think that is true. Yeah, but anyways, so the nuclear bomb can only be used once every 3 rounds, and you must have a technology level of at least 5 to use it. So that means you have to max out your technology, and you don't really encounter it much in the early game. It's more of a mid or late game thing that you will start to encounter countries with technology level of 5. But of course, the enemy AI, will never use the nuclear bomb on you. So you don't have to worry about that. But what if you want to use it on the enemy? Well, first things first, we have to understand what the nuclear bomb actually does. So the nuclear bomb, essentially, if you use it on the enemy, it will, let's say I use it on this in maybe London right here. What it means is that it's going to remove all the infrastructure in that area, and it will destroy all enemy units in that area. So for the very impossible scenario, at least in the vanilla version of World Conqueror 2, let's say if I have 4 Montgomerys in heavy tanks, or at full health, or in London, then what happens if I drop a nuclear bomb on London if that is the case? Well, it's going to basically just destroy the entire you will just destroy the entire piece of territory right there. It will remove the level 4 city. It will destroy all 4 heavy tanks with Montgomerys, of course, and that means it's a particularly useful asset if the resistance is very tough to break through. But of course, it comes at a very high cost, and what this means is that you could potentially bankrupt yourself if you're not careful enough. And it will basically mean that if you don't have a strong enough economy, it will basically mean that you have not enough resources to produce new units to defend your territories on the front line. So it is really a double-edged sword right here. But of course, having said that, how do we maximize the strengths of the nuclear bomb and minimize its weaknesses? So obviously, stating the obvious right here, you want to have a very strong economy. So for example, Germany in Europe 1943, it has the most powerful economy in the game, if I'm not wrong. And of course, although Germany doesn't have a technology level of 5, we could always upgrade that, and you can basically start throwing nuclear bombs around. And the second thing about nuclear bombs is that because you are not actually able to use it every single round. You're only able to use it once every 3 rounds, in fact. So what you want to do is get the gold Air Force medal, so you can basically use it to your heart's content. And if you really want to play around with the nuclear bomb, then I would suggest playing as Germany 1943, get the gold Air Force medal, and get your tech up to level 5. And then you can basically use nuclear bombs in whatever way you want, and yeah, and you are not basically limited by the size of your economy, because the amount of resources that Germany produces in 1 round in Europe 1943 is basically enough for a couple of nuclear bombs, which you can definitely play around with. And yeah, that is basically a short guide to the nuclear bomb, I guess. So in order to recap, you only want to use it when you have a strong economy and when the enemy resistance is too tough to break through. I mean, it is not justifiable to throw a nuclear bomb down on one random infantry unit. That is just not how the game works. But technically it does, but that is not a very viable strategy because you are using so much resources in order to just destroy an infantry unit which costs so little in comparison to the nuclear bomb. So that is definitely one thing you want to take note of when using the nuclear bomb, whether is it worthwhile using so much resources. And yeah, that's about it. So in the next episode of this series, we will be going through the micro and the macro aspects of the game, and I'll be going through the rough strategies that I use when I play the game, and hopefully it will help everyone out right here. And of course, it's I don't really play the game in a really perfect manner. I do make mistakes, but hope that it will definitely help. But that is going to do it for this video. If you have liked this video, please do remember to leave a like, and if you are new to the channel, please do remember to subscribe. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and of course, goodbye.